Audio Jungle.
Hello friends. In this video session, we are going to learn the basics of the anatomy. This session includes the following aspects. What is anatomy? What are the subdivisions of the anatomy? And, finally, why it is important to learn anatomy. First, let's see what is anatomy. The word anatomy has two terms. Ana, which means body, and tomy, which means to cut. Coming to the definition of anatomy. Anatomy is the science which deals with the study of structures and their arrangements in the human body. Now, let's move on to the subdivisions of the anatomy. Anatomy includes the gross anatomy, which can be further subdivided into the regional anatomy, the systemic anatomy, and the surface anatomy. It also includes the microscopic anatomy or the histology, and then the developmental anatomy or the embryology, and finally, the radiographic anatomy. Now, let's look at the subdivisions in brief. First, let us see the gross anatomy. The gross anatomy is defined as the study of macroscopic structures of the human body. For example, the anatomy of liver. The gross anatomy further includes the regional anatomy, which means the study of superficial and internal features of a specific area of the body. For example, anatomy of chest region. Next, the systemic anatomy, which means the study of the structures of the major systems of human body. For example, anatomy of respiratory system. Next, the surface anatomy, which is the study of the general form of body and the superficial markings. Now, let's see the microscopic anatomy or the histology. It is defined as the study of microscopic structures that are not visible without magnification. For example, the histological study of the skeletal muscle. Coming to the developmental anatomy or the embryology. It is the study of the development of the human body. And at last, the radiographic anatomy. It is the study of anatomical structures that are visualized by specialized procedures performed on an intact body. For example, the radiographic anatomy of the chest region. Few other terms are also included in anatomy. Those are the clinical anatomy, the surgical anatomy, cross-sectional anatomy, and the comparative anatomy. Let's conclude this session by talking about the importance of the anatomy. Why is it important to learn anatomy? A medical student in India spends the first phase in the study of what are called the basic sciences of anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. This study is an essential preparation for the understanding and treatment of disease. Thus, the anatomical science forms the basis for the practice of medicine. And finally, the most important thing is to perform well in the exam. This is all about the introduction to anatomy. If you like this video, give a like and share with your friends. Also, subscribe to my channel for further updates of our tutorials. Thank you.